Okay, this is part 2 for Unit 4A, and we're looking at budgeting and taking control of your finances. And just these last few questions, we're going to be looking at just possible scenarios that you could come up with and trying to make sense of them. So these two, 25 and 30, are looking at prorating your expenses. So we want to prorate the following expenses and find the corresponding monthly expense. So in this one, we have during 1 year, Riley pays $6,500 for tuition and fees, plus $600 for textbooks for each of 2 semesters. And we want to find out again how much monthly this is going to cost. So we need to take the $650 or $6,500 plus $600. That's for every semester. And then we need to times that by 2 because there are 2 semesters in a year, and that's going to give us out our total amount over the course of 1 year, which is $14,200. So that's how much you're going to be paying for. So this is per year. So now we're going to take $14,200 and we're going to divide that by 12 months, and this comes out to, we do have to round here a little bit, but to the nearest cent, $1,183.33. So that's how much would need to be budgeted each month in order to pay for 2 semesters of school at $6,500 for tuition and fees per semester and $600 for textbooks. Okay, next we have Melinda spend an average of $35 per week on gasoline and $50 every 3 months on a daily newspaper. And again, we want to break this down into how much is it per every month. So if we're looking at first at gas, we have $35. So we're going to take $35 for every 1 week, and we're going to times that by, there are 52 weeks for every 1 year. And I'm not going to months because 4 weeks isn't exactly 1 month, unless it, as you'll see below in a problem where it says assume 1 month is 4 weeks. But when it doesn't say that, we need to use the full 52 weeks. Okay, so we take that, and then we're going to add. So it's $50 for every 3 months, and again 12 months in 1 year. So I'm going to get these to have the same units. So I'm going to take, in essence, I'm going to take 35 times 52 plus 50 times 12 and then divided by 3 because we've got our months canceling here, but we still have the 12 over the 3. And that's going to be our total expenditure in dollars. So 35 times 52 plus 50 times 4, essentially, because there are 4 quarters, which is 3 months. So this is $2,020. And this is every year. So if we want to take that down into months, we take the 2020 and divide it into 12 months. And we're going to get $168.33. So that's how much should be budgeting out every month for gasoline and to pay for the daily newspaper. Okay, 2 more questions here. So our first one, we're looking at net cash flow. So we have the following table expresses or shows expenses and incomes for a certain individual. We want to find the net monthly cash flow. And again, it may be positive, it may be negative, because if it's negative, we've got too much going out. If it's positive, we have sufficient coming in to cover all of our expenses. And in this case, again, it says assume that 1 month is just 4 weeks, so we can easily scale these things up to months if they're in weeks. So for our income, we've got $1,200 per month. So this is calculating our cash flow. We're going to do this in one shot. So we've got $1,200 plus, And then we have a student loan, which is an income initially. So it's $7,000 for every year. So we're breaking it down to months. So 7,000 divided by 12, plus the scholarship of $8,000 per year. But again, we're going to divide that by 12 to keep us all on a monthly basis. Okay, and then now I'm going to go in the red here. So minus rent, which is $600. Then minus groceries, which is $70 per week. So 70 times 4 weeks. Then minus tuition, which is $7,500 over the year, so $7,500 over 12. Okay, minus health insurance, which is $40, minus some entertainment, and then minus a phone bill, so minus $65. So now we've got all of our income in blue, all of our expenses in red. So when we finally add all of our income and subtract all of our expenses, we come out with a cash flow is positive $640. So this budget works out. The only thing to catch there is, that student loan. It eventually will have to be paid off later. But when we're looking just at cash flow, this person will be able to sustain things if they're going through school. Okay, this last one. So we want to consider a pair of options that we have. So you could take a 15-week, 3 college credit course. So 15 weeks, 3 college credits, which is about 10 hours per week of your time and costs $500 per credit hour in tuition. Okay, and most college courses are about that time frame. 15 weeks, 10 hours per week, that varies on the class. So that's one option. Or you could just work during those hours as a job that pays $10 per hour. And we want to find out what is the net cost of the class compared to working. So we're basically going to find out, what's the difference between, if you have to pay to go to college or if you make money by going to work at $10 an hour, how far apart are those numbers? So if we look at first, let's just determine how much time we're looking at here. So there are 15 weeks, 10 hours per week, so we're looking at 150 hours. So now how much is the college going to cost? So college is going to be, I said $500 for every credit, and this is a 3-credit class. So the cost of college is going to be 3 credits at $500. So this is going to be a $1,500 expense. And now if we look at the job, okay, the job again is going to be the same number of hours, so 150 hours, times $10 an hour. So that's going to be $1,500 of income. So what's the net cost of the class? So when we look at the net cost, so the class is going to be an expense of $1,500. So I'm going to say net cost here is, so this is $1,500 for the class plus another $1,500, and this would be, kind of the lost income if you went to school instead of working. So when we look at the net cost, we have to say, how much did it cost, and then also how much did we lose by not going to work. So we have $1,500 for the class and $1,500 lost in income for work. So that's $3,000, and that's the net cost for that class when we compare it to working. So if we were working, we'd make $1,500, but if we go to college, that college costs $1,500, so we've got a difference there of $3,000. Now, the next part that we'll end with here is based on your answer and the fact that the average college graduate earns nearly $20,000 per year more than the average high school graduate. We're going to write a few sentences giving your opinion as to whether college courses is a worthwhile expense. Time won't permit me to write some sentences, but I'll just give you an idea here as to what we're looking at. So if you go to college, it says you make on average about $28,000 per year more. And let's assume that you make $28,000 more. We're just going with the average. And let's assume you work for about 30 years. So you work 30 years at this job. How much is that? So we're going to take $28,000 for every year and times it by 30 years. And that's about $840,000 over a 30-year period of time. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial difference, having that college degree. And if we look at the cost of college, okay, degrees are about 120 credits. So if we take 120 credits, times it by $500 per credit, okay, we're going to be looking at a cost here of about $60,000. So just for college alone, it's going to cost you about $60,000. And then, the time, you're going to lose some money there. So if you were working during that time rather than going to college, that would add to that net cost. But, if you think in our mind, $60,000 plus, whatever we've been making, whether it's a $10 or $12 an hour job or so forth, over the short period of, however long it takes to graduate, 4 years, do you think the $60,000 plus the money that you would save by not going to college, plus the money that you would earn, would that overcome the $840,000 over a 30-year period of work time? If you stick at a job that makes $10 an hour and you can make your way up, in almost any scenario, you won't be able to recoup those costs. There are different scenarios where you don't go to college and you can make more than a college graduate, absolutely. But looking at this example here, it definitely, in the long run, would be more worthwhile to go to college, spend that money up front, and then make the extra $840,000 on the back end. So that's a look at Unit 4A and budgets and taking control of your finances. If you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate your time.